The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The first ever minicamp in the Aaron Glenn era is in the books. The Jets are off till the end of July. Let's recap what stood out today and what we learned over the last couple of days. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show. Click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, the New York Jets have officially wrapped up mandatory minicamp. 100% attendance is official, and that means the Jets are now off until they open training camp at the end of July. Today's practice, it was a light one. Not much happened. How do I know that? Because at one point during the practice, Aaron Glenn had the quarterbacks throwing passes to the offensive linemen. That's when you know that summer is about to be here. This is Connor Hughes of SNY with a recap on what went down earlier today.
Walking off here after the final day of Jets minicamp, it was a condensed and light one, to say the least. A walkthrough followed by team stretch, then individual drills that had the wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends throwing passes to the quarterbacks and offensive linemen. Very clearly, Aaron Glenn wanted to break for summer vacation on a lighter note after a pretty intense couple of days here in Florham Park. So instead of breaking down that 35-minute session that really didn't matter too much, I figured I'd give you 3 overall takeaways from the offseason, and we will start with the quarterback. Admittedly, didn't know too much about Justin Fields because there wasn't much crossover after he was drafted by the Bears, then played that 1 year in Pittsburgh. I knew he could run the ball, did not know he was as talented of a thrower of the football, not just the cannon of an arm. He has touch. We saw it on multiple occasions, specifically the touchdown pass to Josh Reynolds and that gorgeous 45-yard pass down to the 2-yard line to Garrett Wilson. If the Jets can marry the mental part of the game with the physical aspect, you understand why they're confident that lottery ticket they view him as might actually pay off. Takeaway 2, it is Garrett Wilson. I think he could be primed for a big year because for the first time in a long time, he is the focal point of the offense, and the Jets are orchestrating and designing ways to get him the ball in a bunch of different ways. Final thought, this Jets team, I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't know how many games they're going to win, but they are going to be a physical group that, yeah, they might take a couple punches, they might get knocked down, but they're going to get right back up and throw a few haymakers themselves. That was the identity of the Detroit Lions. That was the identity of so many Bill Parcells teams when he was coaching, and I think Aaron Glenn wants to implement that here with the Jets.
That all sounds nice. Now you got to win games. We all like Aaron Glenn. We all want him to do well. It does matter how many games they win. So they could take a lot of punches. I want them to get back up, punch back, and then win the game. All right? That's what I want to see. And that's what this fan base deserves to see, because it's been far too long since this team was just relevant late in the year. Right? It's been way too long. The best they did in 6 years under Joe Douglas was 7-9. And then you had a couple 7-10 sprinkled in, which is actually worse than the 7-9 if you go by winning percentage. Just brutal. Haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. It's time, man. It's time. So the vibes are high. That's great. People are buying into the Aaron Glenn culture. Now you got to win games. But I like hearing that about Justin Fields. I think he got better as the OTAs and minicamp portion of the offseason here continued. He's learning a new offense. So there's going to be growing pains, and there's going to be times where maybe he is holding onto the ball too much and he's not processing as fast as you'd like him to because it's new for him. But that's always been a problem for him, but that doesn't mean it's always going to remain a problem for him. Time will tell. We'll see. I like the fact that the Jets seemingly preached a lot more fundamentals during these practices. We're not going to wait till week 15 to do a PowerPoint presentation on how to tackle. Thank you, Jeff Ulbrich. Yeah, this team is going to be more physical. They have to be. That's how they're built to function. Run the ball. Physical at the lines of scrimmage. That's the only way they're going to have a chance. It's not like they're going to beat you with elite outside weapons and stellar quarterback play. It'd be nice. That's not how they're built. So you got to be able to run the ball. I like what Brees said yesterday about earning the right to be the bell cow. How it's a new regime. He's got to show them that he deserves the ball 20, 25 times a game. That's how it should be. But they got to be physical. They got to be a team that can tackle well. There's too much talent on defense for them to be bad. Way too much talent on defense for them to be bad. And they got too many good coaches on that side of the ball. Glenn, Wilkes, go down the line. They got a lot of experience with their position coaches as well. So I'm very encouraged about the defense. I think if there's one unit that I'm very confident in, it's the defense. I think they're going to be good on defense. I think this is a top 5 defense in the NFL. I believe it. Wouldn't say it if I didn't. Offense, I got a lot of questions. I love Garrett Wilson. They should pay Garrett Wilson. He's a stud. He should be a Jet his whole career. He'll be in the Ring of Honor someday if that happens. He'll have every record any receiver in Jets history has ever had. Outside of him, though, now what? Is Mason Taylor ready to play that type of role as a rookie tight end? Be the second most reliable pass catcher? Is Josh Reynolds going to be that guy? I mean, by default, he might have to. I don't trust Allen Lazard. And deep down, if you think you do, you don't. So who's going to emerge there? That's the big question. Because as much as we love Garrett Wilson, what if he rolls an ankle, has to miss some time? Who's Justin Fields throwing to? You know, Brees Hall was saying that they told him that, hey, we're going to have you do everything. Great. Brees Hall needs to be utilized the way Christian McCaffrey is utilized by the San Francisco 49ers. He might be the second. If we're just doing second best pass catcher on the team, to me, it's Brees Hall. Want to see him utilized. I'm encouraged, though, by what we've heard from Engstrand over the last few weeks. I think just based on what I have heard and what I'm not allowed to say because you can't report on specifics, but what has been relayed to me, I think they are going to have a creative offense and scheme guys open. And it's going to be on Fields to take that next step. And if he does that, look, the talent is there for this team to be relevant. It's just a lot of ifs. I was saying this to someone today at Citi Field. If this happens, if that, there's a lot of ifs. If the ifs become yes, Justin Fields took a step forward and is playing like a competent quarterback. Yes, Aaron Glenn's a real coach. Yes, Tanner Engstrand's a really good play caller. Yes, Armand Membu's the real deal with the other 4 guys on this offensive line, and they truly are a team that could lead the NFL in rushing, which should be the goal. This team's got talent to be good. Just a lot of ifs. I got to answer some of those ifs. Let's take a listen to Aaron Glenn. I thought this would be fun. This is the last time we're going to hear from Glenn until the start of training camp. This was Aaron Glenn's press conference earlier today.
Overall, I thought this has been a really good camp for all of us, including the coaches. And we had our last basically team meeting this morning. And what I want to make sure I stress to the players are throughout this whole deal from phase 1 all the way into phase 3, they started creating some habits. And I want to say habits are good habits. And as you leave the building, man, I don't want those habits to go away. I want them to continue to think about those habits. And also through this whole deal, man, it has been about our process on how we want to operate as a team, from who we want to be, how we want to do it, and not really totally focused on how we win and the vision for winning, because I think there's a lot of time to be able to talk about that. So it was more or less about our process going into training camp. And then as we get that nailed down, now let's talk about how we're going to win and our vision for winning. I think for me, that's something I've always believed in. And I think our players really understood that, talking to them this morning. So listen, I'm very proud of all those guys. Again, overall, I think we had about 91% of the guys that was here. I'm talking about through all the phases. And I think the best team I've been around when it comes to that was about 80%. So those guys trumped that. And listen, I can't be more pleased to finish this offseason up, with those guys being able to do that. So Listen, I'm looking forward to training camp. I hate that things are ending now, and we got to take this month off, but I understand it. But guns are blazing once we get back here and go to training camp. So, any questions?
We've spent a lot of time talking to you about an option next to Garrett.
Yeah.
Any of those offensive linemen show you anything?
Absolutely not.
Big time media laugh. Big time media laugh.
I've been a part of a team where we used our linemen to catch passes, and that's going to be a work in progress, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, I know
Jerry
you
Seinfeld
never
went up there, my
do you
God.
feel like you accomplished a lot of what you wanted to accomplish in this?
It's as a coach, you're always going to say, "Nah, we didn't get everything we want to get done." But listen, I think the players understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish. I feel like that. But I do understand there's a lot more work to be done. And listen, we're ripping pages out of some situations that we want to get better at, and we want to create our own narrative, and we want to write our own book. And that's what the focus will be going into training camp is, man, how do we rip the pages out of some situations that we don't like, all right, and make sure we start writing the narrative of how we're going to operate throughout the season and throughout training camp. So when it's all said and done, this is going to be a book that a lot of people like to read.
Today, obviously, today was a regular practice.
Yeah.
How do you balance as a coach being finding the line of being a disciplinarian versus also, I don't know, you probably don't like the term players coach, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like meeting in a different way, so to speak.
I think for the most part, as a coach, you always want the discipline part to be on point. I mean, you're never getting away from that. But also, there's you have to have an eye for it. And I think my ability to have played it for a long time and coach it for a long time, that I know when enough is enough. I know when to push. I know when to hold back. I do know when it's time to have a little fun. And for the guys out there that were the linemen out there catching passes, it was time for those guys to get a chance to do that. Listen, they've worked their asses off this whole offseason, and I haven't had any complaints on how we do things. I'll tell you what, I'm out there talking to Quincy, and Quincy said, Coach, the reason I knew that things were changing because there was no bitching about anything as far as how we do things, because we are doing things different. And I told guys, once we start to create our culture, then we're going to start understanding this is the way we do things. And it might not be the way other people do it, and I'm okay with that. But I believe this is the right way to do it. And we all have to understand that this is the way that we do things. Nobody else but us. So I thought that was pretty good.
Built for this shit, baby. Yeah.
Talking about just, being more of a leader, just from your perspective, how is he done?
This was a good answer earlier.
Here's what I want Sauce to do, and here's what I'll talk to him about who he needs to be, is when you do lead, just let your influence do all the talking. Like, how do you operate in the huddle with the players, in the locker room? That speaks more than the rah-rah guy. And he understands that, because influence, to me, is what really leadership is about. Like, how do you influence your other teammates? How do you influence people around you no matter what? And I think he's done a really good job of that. And sometimes you have to sit back and talk to players about that, because sometimes players think that leadership is about, I got to call the guys up and talk about this. I have to be in the locker room. No, man, just be yourself and influence people the right way. And he's done a really good job of that.
I think Steve Wilkes said yesterday that you guys want to practice tackling and training camp like it's a point of emphasis.
Yeah.
A lot of teams really, not every team does like tackling anymore.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
It's a tackling sport. So in this game, you got to block and you got to tackle. And the only way you get good at that craft is to do it. So I'm a firm believer in it. The players understand, they know that, and they want to get better. And if we want to be one of the better tackling teams and one of the better blocking teams in this league, at some point you have to do it. Now, I'm not saying you got to sit here and do it every day, and you also got to have a quick whistle, but there are times when you just have to practice and you have to do it.
There's going to be a physical training camp. That is one thing for sure you can count on with Glenn here.
It's also your first time doing it, so how much of that...
Which is the right approach, by the way. His team stunk at tackling last year.
For you to go from here moving forward.
Yeah. I give a lot of credit to Coach Campbell in Detroit, because he allowed me to actually act in the position of being head coach, to be able to do the calendar for the offseason, plan training camp out, be able to make decisions that he was supposed to make, but he allowed me to make those decisions to get me ready to be in this position. And the one thing I do know that every day there's a thought process on, man, how am I protecting the players and how am I putting the players in the best position to improve? And I actually enjoy that, because at the end of the day, the players need to know that you care. And when you think like that, and when you operate that way, I think there becomes buy-in from everybody, even from the staff, because they see that too. So I enjoyed every process this offseason of being the head coach here. And I've said this before, when I first got the job, there's no other place I would rather have it than here with the Jets. And you guys know the reasons why, but I'm enjoying every day of this year.
You've talked a lot about leadership, culture, obviously.
Yeah.
Old school Jet fans
as a player,
are going to enjoy this answer here from Glenn.
And as you were kind of thinking through the process, that guy's a leader, this is what a leader is.
Oh, that was easy.
Here we go.
Ronnie Lott, was a guy that, not only that, not being with him and seeing how he operated, and then getting a chance to have a locker right next to him and seeing how he operated. And listen, back then it was totally different. So when you had injury, some of the things that I saw him do was just, I don't know if I'd have did that, but he was the real deal. Boomer Esiason was another guy. James Hasty was another guy. Johnny Johnson. I can go down the line of the guys that I looked up to here, being here, who I thought really showed leadership skills. And even then, I really didn't know what leader was or leadership was. But as I go back and think about how those guys operated, I thought Ronnie Lott was one of the guys that, to this day, I would say, yeah, this guy's a leader because of his influence.
Aaron, nickel cornerback has become such an important position in this league.
Some love for Michael Carter now, who's fully healthy and said since February he's been full go. Carter spoke earlier.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in terms of that spot?
Well, the good thing about him now, he's healthy, and he has twitch. He's tough. He understands the nickel position, and once you start to play that position, because you have to start to understand exactly what's going on with the front. So you just can't be a guy that's out on the edge and listen, I got my guy. There's gap integrity that you have to understand. Your ability to cover has to be on point. So not only are you acting as a DB, but you also have to act as a linebacker too. There are certain situations where, you could have turbo motion. They can get you bumped into the paint, and you have to operate as a linebacker. So he does a really good job of that, and he's extremely smart also. So to have a guy with the skill set that he has, and that's extremely smart, like those are the type of guys you really want at the nickel spot. So he's doing a good job for us.
A couple more. I know you're not going to give us your vision or exact identity.
Well, please don't ask.
But how much did getting to know these guys on and off the field kind of shape whatever your vision or identity is that you're going to build moving forward?
Listen, that's something that I do no matter what. So it wasn't a sense of that shaping how I operate. I've always been the type of coach that not only do I want to know who they are on the field, but who they are off the field and get to know them as a person. And I think you've heard from a lot of the guys that came here and talked that I've had conversations with those guys, one-on-one conversations with them in my office, just to talk, and just get to know who those guys, who they are. I'm a firm believer in if you know the person, then you start to figure out what buttons to push to get them to do things a certain way. And if you just know them as a football player, you really don't really understand that. And I learned that from Coach Parcells, because he know how to push my buttons. and because he knew me, though. He knew me as a person first and foremost, which allowed him to be able to do that. So I think it's important as a coach to be able to do that. And, again, it's just who I am as a coach, to be able to know him on the field and off the field.
Last one, Kaz.
You're focused on here.
Yeah.
Kaz asking the Rodgers question. Here we go.
Yeah. What's your feeling about?
I'm trying to hold this smile in. I really am. Because I was waiting on that.
I didn't wait. I wasn't going to disappoint you. Last question of the offseason. What's your feeling Think about the challenge of facing Aaron Rodgers in week 1.
We have 17 really good games that we got to play. And I'm looking forward to playing every one of them.
Okay, let me get a follow-up. You're a guy who doesn't like a lot of noise around the team. We've seen that.
Say it again.
You don't like a lot of noise. You don't like a lot of, you're trying to avoid distractions. But you need a lot of noise going into that game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Do you worry about that at all as a coach?
Listen, this is the NFL, and to me, every game there's a lot of noise because they're so critical as far as wins and losses, and we want to try to accumulate as many wins as we can. And I don't care who that opponent is. All right.
Win games,
if it's
baby.
a high school team, we want to beat them. If it's a college team, we want to beat them. It just so happened to be Pittsburgh. And listen, they have a lot of good players on that team. They have a damn good coach who I'm fond of. But our players are going to be ready to play every game. And I know that for a fact.
You get the fuck out.
We will hear from Aaron Glenn the next time when the Jets start training camp. That was his final press conference of the offseason. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let me share this with those just tuning in. We got our mega raffle tomorrow. We're giving away a full-size Broadway Joe helmet. First show tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going live. Be ready. Going to give away the Namath full-sized helmet, the Clyde Frazier signed jersey, the Kevin Mawai signed jersey with Hall of Fame inscription, and a Bart Scott signed jersey. Those are the 4 prizes I'm giving away. However, at the end of this show, I'm going to give away a signed CJ Mosley jersey. So if you want a chance to win that, get the membership to be eligible. And all memberships during this last show before the raffle are +2. So if you get 5, you're actually in for 7. Give people one more chance to get in the raffle tomorrow morning. Dominic has gifted 1 channel membership. He's the first to do it. Thank you, Dominic. Let me say this. The first person to get 5 or more memberships, I'll double it. So if you get 5, it's 10. 10, it's 20. That's for the first person, and that counts for the CJ Mosley raffle at the end of the show. If you're watching Jets content in June, you're a diehard Jets fan, which is why I'm going heavy with all the raffle prizes on the show the last couple of weeks. With that said, one final soundbite I want to play and react to, and then let's talk about what stood out over minicamp the last couple of days. Sauce Gardner spoke earlier today. This was Sauce on why he chose to show up, not hold out, and here's Sauce talking about his future.
Man, I just wanted to show my teammates, show the coaches how much I'm bought into this, man. I want to win. I want to change the organization. I want to be a part of changing the organization. You know, we got a new regime, AG, his whole coaching staff that he brought in, Moogie, just great guys. And I feel like Mr. Johnson did a great job of getting those type of guys to be here, and I feel like they're doing a great job in changing the culture for sure.
That's a great teammate. That's a guy I want to pay, and that's a guy who I think ultimately will get a long-term contract extension from the New York Jets. Hopefully, the next big breaking news stream I'm doing from now until when training camp starts is the Jets announcing contract extensions with Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. These are the guys you pay. I thought Sauce was great at the presser. I thought Glenn's comments and what you just heard there talking about leadership has been spot on. Also, if you notice, Sauce looks like he added a tremendous amount of weight. Go back and look at photos of him from last year to now. Clearly, one of the goals for Sauce Gardner this offseason was to add more muscle, be stronger. Hopefully, that helps him in the tackling department. I like it. Sauce is going to have a big year. So, you pay him now, you'll save money on your cap long term. That's how I view it. Because I think he's going to be an all-pro player again. That's just how I view it. I think last year was a toxic environment for everyone. And I think the Aaron Glenn-led Jets culture is going to allow the best players to be the best players again. Doesn't mean they're going to win 10 or 11 games. I'm not there yet. But this team's going to be better coached. I am relatively confident in that. What does that equate to wins-wise? It's tough to project when you don't know what you're getting from a quarterback on a game-in, game-out basis. But I'll tell you, I think the defense is going to be really good. I do. I believe in the talent on that side of the ball. I think Sherwood is a beast. I think Quincy's going to get back to being what he was 2 years ago when he was a first-team all-pro linebacker. So I am very excited about the Jet defense for what it's worth. Ladies and gentlemen, JoJo in the house. She is gifted 10 channel memberships. JoJo, we're boosting you double. JoJo plus 10. Thank you very much. You're in the raffle for 20 tomorrow. away. Congratulations to JoJo. You're also in the raffle for 20 for the CJ Mosley jersey at the end of the show. That's right. I'm giving away a signed CJ Mosley jersey. Jamie and Sherwood said he regularly stays in touch with CJ, and that's what Quincy has said as well. So CJ's influence on the Jets still being felt. I don't think he's going to play football. No one's told me that. I just think the writing's on the wall that CJ just might be done. Wouldn't shock me if he retires. With that said, we're not done with the memberships yet. Frank P., who won a signed Anthony Beck jersey on the first show. By the way, Frank, I sent you an email. Confirm to me the address, where to send your jersey, and I'll get that sent out for you this week. He just gifted 10 memberships. We'll do +2 on all memberships. Final show before our raffle tomorrow morning. Frank P. boosted 12 raffle tickets for the daily raffle at the end of the show, and then our raffle tomorrow morning.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money, money, money.
Let me rattle through some names to read off here. These are from JoJo and Frank P. And then we'll get to your calls, your thoughts on what you heard there from Glenn, Sauce Gardner, everything going on with the Jets right now as the offseason's officially in the wraps. It's over. Done. Next time we see the Jets, 2025 training camp underway. RB Gamer, Mike B, Hi-Ho Jet fan, Mike Perez, OG Jet fan, GPM Matthew Smith, Sushi Dave, M. Morris, all receiving channel memberships from JoJo. There's now the 10 from the great Frank P. Connor Long, Easton Trini, Main Event Ace, Jesse P., the Ghost 22, and let's see, Vinny C., Golden RMC, Nicholas Carnavale, Kendrick Lamar, all receiving channel memberships. Congrats to everyone who just got a channel membership. Comments, questions, super chats. What did you guys make of Aaron Glenn's comments there? Adam writes in, the leadership presence Glenn has is unreal. You do see it. I mean, you see why players buy in. But I think they still need to get off to a good start this year. Like, I think I think the buy-in is there, and then if you go out there week one and Aaron Rodgers rips you a new one and you lose, I think that's tough. I think you got to get off to a good start. I think that goes a long way. Patriots 12 writes in, I got sent to the hole for no reason. You got sent to the hole because, one, you're a Pats fan, and two, your first call to the show was going after the best fan base in all of sports. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch!
Yeah. That's why you got sent to the hole. Chef Kevin did the right thing. How dare you question sending another man to the hole? On that note, let's open it up. Comments, questions, super chat. Sean, start us off today. You're first up on the hotline.
Hey, how you doing, Jake?
What's up, Sean?
Not too much. You know, the other day I was scrolling YouTube because I'm always, watching stuff, and I saw that what was it? Patriot. They had some Patriots thing, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch this. And what I noticed was they're doing exactly what we do every year. Oh, Drake May's going to be the savior. Mike Vrabel's going to be the savior. It's going to change everything. What I love about what we're doing as a Jets organization, we've kind of shut that down. There's no saviors. We're a team. We have good leadership. I like that a lot. I don't know what your perspective is, but I just feel like, okay, we're not looking for a savior now. It's, hey, let's play the game.
Well, here's the thing, though. They're not looking for a savior because there wasn't a, quote, savior for them to take. If they loved one of these quarterbacks, they would have taken him at 7, and we'd be hyping up that quarterback like we always do because we're fans. So, like, we're buying into this team mantra and all that because we have to. It's not like if they believed an equivalent to Cam Ward was there at 7, they would have taken him. They liked Ward. He was their number 1. They realized Tennessee wasn't trading out of number 1. So then they pivoted, signed Fields, build up Fields' confidence, say you're the guy, and he is the guy for a year. But if there was a quarterback they liked, they would have taken that guy at 7. I don't think they're that pot committed to Justin Fields that they think they got their guy long term. They got their guy for a year. So, like, that's how it's being spun. Oh, the team. But if they drafted a quarterback, it'd be all about that quarterback,
Yeah, but as a fan, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us relying on some type of savior. You know
That's
what I'm
going to
saying?
be next year, though, if Fields is not the guy.
I know.
The hope is that they're not a savior. It's that you draft the right quarterback, but you put him in an environment where he can be successful right away. That's the goal.
Yeah, and I think, though, too many times where we draft players like quarterback specific they're going to change everything, but we haven't had a good foundation in a long time.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I think they've had at times a good foundation. I just think they've missed on the quarterback. Like I think Zach Wilson was brought into a pretty good spot by his second year. I mean, they gave him the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. He had a field goal kicker that couldn't miss. They had a good punter. Like they were 6-3 at one point, and then they fell apart in part because he stunk. You know, like 2022, that team was ready to go if Zach Wilson was the guy.
You don't think the coaching was great at that time too?
No, but I think LaFleur was clearly a much better offensive coordinator in hindsight than Hackett, right? I think 2022 was the year for the Jets to capitalize if Zach Wilson didn't suck. I think that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jets have had talented teams, and then they don't have the quarterback. Like I think the hope now is that Fields could be the guy, but if he's not, you feel like at least you have the coach that gives you a solid foundation every year. The Jets had talent a couple of years ago and just couldn't, I think, maximize it because Zach ultimately wasn't the guy.
Well, we had talent last year. We just had terrible coaching too.
And the coach got fired at 2-3. So you went from a bad coach team to a team that didn't have a coach.
Yeah. So, but I'm excited. I probably shouldn't be too excited. I'm just, I am. Oh, I fall into the trap, dude. I fall into the trap too often. I get all pumped up, and then we suck. So
look, watching Glenn, I get it, man. He's a guy you want to root for when you hear him talk.
Yep. So, but that's all I got. That's all I got for you today. But I do appreciate all you do, and thanks for having me on.
Sean, good call to start us off. Appreciate you. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. Patriots 12 is fighting with people in the chat. Patriots 12, why don't you call in? You're calling other people keyboard warrior? Why don't you call in? I mean, you're a Patriots fan watching a Jet show. What are we doing here? Lou checks in. What's up, Lou? Jake, if you look at our team, how many guys do we have that are top 5 at their position? How do you rate the O and D line? Top what? I mean, the offensive line should be top 10, Lou. I mean, I got to see what Membu is as a pro, but I think they got a lot of talent there. I think the O-line coaching there is critical. Defensive line-wise, I mean, it's tough because I don't know what version of Jermaine Johnson we're going to get, but there's talent on the D-line. I mean, I think Quentin Williams is top 3 at his position. I think Will McDonald is a top 15 edge rusher. Righty, I mean, he had 10.5 sacks last year. I don't know what to expect from Nandi or Byron Coward or some of the other guys they've added. Leonard Taylor, we'll see. There's talent there. Most teams, here's the thing with the defense, right? Forget just the defensive line. How many teams in the league have a former all-pro at all 3 levels of their defense? Quinnen, Quincy, Sauce. That's rare. That's very rare. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the Patriots bandwagon has called in 6 rings. Hello, 6 rings.
How's it going?
I'm good, 6 rings. You ready for this?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question.
Bandwagon fan isn't fooling anyone. Think the team was founded in 2001. The loser calls in wearing his shit clothes and has the audacity to talk Mac Jones. You're the AOL of the AFC East, cause your time is up. You went from beast to least. The Jets on the rise, the Pats in decline. We built for this shit, y'all past your prime. You got Ray Bell, yeah, cool story, bro. Your best guys on a boat doing blow. You missed times cheating and Belichick's frown. Sit down, 6 rings, this ain't your town. So stay in your lane, don't hijack the show. 6 rings, more like 6 years ago.
I'll take matters into my own hands with 6 rings today. Shout out to Daz for the latest diss track. No Pats fans on a Jet minicamp recap show today. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Got 'em. Let's say hello to the great David Mother Effin' T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
Mr. David T, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. And you know what? No matter what, the heck with the Patriots fans. I just, and even though Six Rings is interesting and he seems like an okay guy and everything, and I think he's going to be a continuous caller. I don't know. He might be shooting himself in the foot. But Aaron Glenn seems like, the kind of guy, you could sit down and have some Fireball and a beer with him and ask him questions, and he would treat you like a man, not unlike Fireman Ed. And, but I know it all comes down to when the rubber hits the road and, the regular season, it's all about winning. As far as the first game, Jake, unless the Jets get blown away by an Aaron Rodgers, if it's a hard-fought battle and they end up losing, it's still not going to be the end of the world. So the other thing is, I'm all set for the Tampa game. I hear about. I enjoy your callers. That are going to be at the Tampa game. I got my hotel. I got a ticket for the tailgate. I'm going to be at the meetup. I got my David T shirt.
Let's go.
And, oh my God, Jake, I'm so looking forward to it already. That's a nice thing in retirement. We still have goals. We still have things to shoot for.
You still believe in achievement?
Oh yeah, always. That's the way we were brought up. We were brought up working people.
Well, David, I'll tell you what. I can't wait to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait. Just all the Asmaniacs. Everybody has their own personality and character, and we're all Jets fans, and we're all family.
I'll tell you what, David. Tampa Bay, the Asmaniacs, the Tampa takeover. I can feel the magic in the air now.
Oh, we're taking over Tampa.
Let's go.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's Fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
David T's coming to Tampa. Join me in the Asmaniacs September 21st. That whole weekend, we got stuff planned. We'll be at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill the night before the game. Special guests to be announced, by the way. We'll have our Sunday morning tailgate next to the stadium. I still have discounted tickets in section 100, 200, and 300 available, and a link for discounted hotel rooms for any Asmaniac that is interested. I got the tailgate info. You see it on the screen. Scan that QR code and buy your ticket. Kids under 12 get in for free. And then here's the info about the happy hour party we're throwing. Shout out to the Tampa Jets crew, Festa, and the group doing a great job. Appreciate them including the Asmaniacs in this. It's going to be a great, great weekend. So if you're coming to Tampa and you have any questions, you want access to these discounted tickets or hotel rooms, join my Patreon. One of the perks of your membership is exclusive deals. So as promised, I'm coming through for the people. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. And join the Discord. Everything is always there in the Discord. Janice Jet, speaking of Tampa, can't wait to meet Janice in Tampa. She's gifted 5 memberships. It's +2 on all memberships. So Janice is in our raffle at the end of this show and the raffle tomorrow morning for 7. Let's go.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Here's you got the memberships from the great Janice Jet. If you hear your name called, thank Janice, Jay Grow, Edwin Rodriguez, Leonardo Santos, Belly Can Hit, and Dilly Bop, all receiving channel memberships. I was actually at the Mets game today. I was there with ESPN New York, Dave and Rick, DiPietro and Rothenberg, our morning show. They do an annual tailgate party, and I ran into an Asmaniac named Jerry, who's coming to Tampa. So, Jerry, if you're listening, shout out to you. Looking forward to seeing you in Tampa. I also hung out with O'Leary before the game, and I'm 5'8". All right, I want to make that clear. Matt O'Leary looks like my father, and I'm like his 5-year-old son in this photo I'm trying to pull up here. Look at this. Just outrageous. Look at this. Hey, Dad. O'Leary is 6'7". He's gigantic. It's insane. This was the pregame. And then we had how about this? I'm sitting at the game today, a Mets game, with the voice of the New York Yankees. Big Mets fan, Michael K. But it was a fun day. A bunch of Asmaniacs were in the crowd too, which is cool. Here's Dave, Rick DiPietro, RJ, Santillo, their producer, Mike Brownshire, who you can't see because my head's covering him. So shout out to everyone I met today at the ESPN New York, Dave and Rick Mets outing. The Lup Man in the Asmaniac raffle for 5, baby. You get the fuck out. Ladies and gentlemen, Luppy gifting 5. It's actually 7 because I'm boosting memberships by 2. Plan it for us, Eric Schmidt, Steve, USMC. Steve, thank you for your service, my man. Great to meet you last year. Gerald Janasco and Baby J, all receiving channel memberships. On that note, let's get back to your calls, shall we? On the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline right now is a man who hails from Finland, Australian Jets fan. Hello, Australian Jets fan.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I have a theory on why we keep getting random Patriots fans in on the show now. I think it's just because the Patriots community is just so shit. They're just jealous of us. Like deep down, they just really wish that they had a community like us and they could be.
I agree.
Let
me say this. There's no community in the NFL like the Jet YouTube community. And I mean that. Like other teams don't have this. That's why it's amazing how many good content creators there are and how many subscribers tune into all these shows. We're just talking about O'Leary, but I mean Greenby and Ryan, Richie. There's just too many to name here. Tyson, Ian from Jet Central, Nick Shine. Like go down the line. I'm going to forget people, but it's incredible, man. And the team's been so bad. And all these other, like I was in Houston, there are 2 guys who do Texans content. 2. That's it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've noticed that they're all like trying to get attention. It's because there's no attention to get in a Patriots community because the Jets are just on top.
It's true.
It is very true. So yeah, if 6 Rings or that other guy listening to this, they won't respond because they know it's true. But
are you growing out the hair? Is this a new look for you?
I had it like this, and then when I was calling in, and then I just shook my head, and then I decided, it doesn't look that bad.
You look like either Trevor Lawrence or Sunshine from Remember the Titans. Have you seen that movie yet? We told you to watch that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, that's your homework assignment, all right? You need to watch Remember the Titans, all right? You look like Ronnie Bass from Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I haven't made a decision what to do with my hair yet. I've just kind of been too lazy. I haven't even thought about it really.
Have you seen what Ronnie Bass looks like?
Yes, I have.
So you have seen it. Okay. Well, for those who don't know what I'm referring to here, first off, if you're watching my show and you've never seen Remember the Titans, I'm going to commit a radio/YouTube sin here. I'm going to tell you to turn this off and go watch that movie immediately because that's more important than anything I could tell you about Jets mandatory minicamp on June 12th. But this is who you look like. Hold on. StreamYard, as usual, is giving me a hard time uploading it. But this is who Australian Jet fan looks like. This is your unnatural sibling. That's you.
Yeah, I actually. So the reason I haven't seen the movie is because I lived it. That was actually me. I acted in it.
Sunshine. You're the quarterback, baby.
Yeah. The Jets should sign me.
You know what? You'd be better than Zach Wilson.
Probably. If Justin Fields doesn't work out,
how's that Justin Fields jersey I gave you? Is it in a good spot?
Yes, it is. It's in my drawer right now. I'm about to pull it out right now with my other jerseys. Still in very, very good condition.
There it is.
I'm a very, very big Justin Fields believer. I can't wait for this season. Less than 100 days now. I'm counting him down.
Let's go. I'm excited if you're excited.
I think we're all excited. Let's go.
We're the
Jets.
freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
I mean, seriously, though, he looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans, right? I mean, what a comp. Sunshine. Dave Brigger writes in, Charles is a nice fellow. He just needs to be jump-started. He's not a Pats fan. Nate needs to cool down with that. So Dave Brigger coming to the defense of Charles Gorman. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly pause and pledge our allegiance to the greatest country in the world.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How come you're not standing for the pledge?
I was, and I sat back down.
I'll take your word for it, even though I saw you not move the entire time.
How you doing, Jake? How was the Met game?
The Met game was good. I left in the 7th inning because it was hot as balls, and I needed to get back and do the show.
Mets won 4-3.
I'm aware.
I'm happy Glenn has taken over leadership of this team. I'm glad that when he first became the head coach, he asserted himself as the de facto leader of this team, as the de facto CEO, which is something Robert Saleh epically failed to do when he was the head coach of the Jets. I'm happy about
Charles?
that. I'm not wearing a bra, no what? Oh.
Your shirt should say, got boobs.
It says got rings.
Nice.
Got it when they won the 27 World Championship. I was a sophomore in high school when they won it.
Let's go Yanks.
Damn straight. Hopefully they go for the sweep tonight. Obviously, the Jet fans are one of the most passionate fans in all of sports. I know Six Ring likes to talk trash, but I think it's going to take a long time for the Patriots to be dominant again. Or good. Consistently good, if anything. Right now, the AFC East is the Bills division until proven otherwise.
It is, but to be fair, you look at the Pats, if Drake May's really good, they're going to be a good team. I mean, so much of it's quarterback driven. I think they have a really good coach. Like Mike Vrabel's proven that. So Aaron Glenn's
I know that, but they need to straighten out the offensive line because the only two offensive line that they have that
Correct.
we know that are
their
somewhat
receivers
proven.
suck too. They don't have good weapons.
Do they still have Hunter Henry or no more?
I don't think he's on their team anymore.
But what I do know is that I think the Jets will be improved in terms of coaching. I know a lot of Jet fans think I'm being unrealistic when I say I think they can win 10 games. Listen, I'm being optimistic here. I'm sick and tired. I got to be optimistic because if I don't, I would be depressed. I wouldn't have good health. Plus, I believe in the coaching. You know, what I like from the coaching staff is they're making players take responsibility and accountability.
Real quick, Charles, Hunter Henry is in fact still on the Pats. I forgot he was, but I checked and he is.
Good to know. As I was saying, I'm glad that Aaron Glenn. Thank you. I like the fact that he's inserted accountability and responsibility into this team. I'm glad that Sauce Gardner has really added some more muscle into his physique. I mean, I still think he's a very hair. I think he's one of the top 5 corners in football, along with Pat Surtain of the Broncos. I think he's a very good player. He just needs to improve on his tackling, which hopefully he will this upcoming season. Hopefully Quincy Williams, who I thought had a good year last year, not a great year compared to 2023, but still a good enough year. I think Jamie Sherwood's going to have a monster season, considering the fact that last year he led the entire National Football League with 98 solo tackles. Holy crap.
Now, Charles, let me ask you this.
Yes.
It looks like the beard is starting to come in again. Have you thought about maybe just cleaning up the neck and then keeping the beard? So just polishing it up.
Well, I also have a couple of straight edge razors with me as well. So, and don't worry, I'll do a better job in watching my face this time.
There you go.
Also,
Don't move.
oh shit, you're not kidding. I'll do a better. I'm at my parents' house right now. I'm just picked up a few things like more toilet paper. I'm gonna get a case of water, and I made my lunch for myself for tomorrow.
What are you having for lunch?
3 taquitos. It's for my community inclusion group tomorrow.
Let's go.
Now,
would you consider shaving on air? I'm getting a request for you to do that.
No.
You won't do it.
Now, why would people want? Are people want to see me shave?
Yes. How much for you to shave on air?
How much?
Yeah, how much? You're going to be obviously we're going to compensate you for your time.
Okay, if I'm going to shave, I'd say $20 to $25.
All right. Do I have an Asmaniac out there that is willing to commit $25? Let's sell high on this for you for us to all take part in Charles Gorman shaving on the air.
Has to be my face. Can't be my armpits. Can't be my chest.
I'm drawing the line at armpits. I personally don't. I don't care how much money you pay me. I personally don't want that. But $25, I think we could raise that for you, Charles.
And I'm not going to shave my nether regions.
No, there's a website with a different tube at the end of it. You could find that, not this one.
Kyle Clifton said he's good for 20.
Kyle Clifton's committed to 20. Really? Now, do you have the tools necessary to shave now, or it's back at the Charles Gorman apartment?
It's back at the apartment. I mean, I got shaving cream.
All right. So, how do we feel about this being part of the show tomorrow?
It's not going to be part of the show tomorrow. I'm going to be shaving. I'm going to get up very early tomorrow because I got to leave. My driver Antoine is going to pick me up around 8:15. So he shows at what time? Yeah, a different company takes me to my community inclusion group every Friday. It's called Caring Journeys.
All right, so how about we do this? Friday, so tomorrow, I'll go live in the 4 p.m. hour. Will you be home and will you be able to shave on the air by then?
Yes.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Charles Gorman shaving live on the show tomorrow afternoon. What a way to kick off the gap between Jets minicamp ending and training camp beginning. And it seems like we have a lot of people that are going to pledge money towards you shaving. Peg and Artie have pledged 10. We know Kyle Clifton has pledged 20. Eli has pledged a contribution. I will obviously make a contribution. We're going to get you paid here for a live Gorman shave on the air.
Okay.
Eli says, who do I Venmo? Eli, Venmo to me and I'll take care of it. Jake-Asman. You'll see the picture of the guy in the Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey. You'll know it's my account. Dave Briga, is it going to be a live shave? Absolutely. That's what we're doing here. The people want a live Gormani shave.
Indy Jets. He says he'll give 69 cents.
Indy Jets is in for 69 cents. Indy, is this true? 69 cents?
Absolutely. 69 cents. Charles is worth every penny.
Thank you, Indy Jets. How are you, buddy? Congrats on your Pacers last night.
Hey, thank you, Charles. Thank you.
You get the fuck
out.
Oh, come on. That's not nice to say to Indy Jets.
I don't care. I hate the Pacer. I love Indy Jets, but the Pacers devil magic, I don't want to hear about it. All right? This is a Pacer-free environment now.
That's not cool, bro. Indy Jets, you're more than welcome to be on my channel, by the way. Don't worry.
Here we go. The Gorman plug.
Look, I welcome all sports fans on my channel. As long as they don't act rude. Yes, as long as they behave.
Okay.
As long as they behave, they talk well, they're civilized, they're mature. We could joke around a little bit, but I was raised to talk to people.
Frank P says, if he shaves on the squatty potty, I'll put in $50.
I'm not going to shave on no damn squatty potty. Get the hell out of here.
Charles, are you trying to make money or not?
Yes, but I'm going to shave near the sink.
Stand on the squatty potty like it's a stool and make $50 for something that causes you no additional harm whatsoever. You got to think with your big head, not your little one.
Okay, I'll stand on the squatty potty.
There you go. He didn't say you had to sit on it. He just said you had to be on the squatty potty.
Okay, I understand.
Big fella says, will you shave with electric or manual?
I'm gonna shave with manual.
This is going to be intense. Now, you have a first aid kit on hand, though, because Luppy sent you one, so just in case.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'm very excited about this, Charles. We covered a lot of ground. Tomorrow, second show of the day, the Gorman Shave, live on the air.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our guy, Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
I think the second one. Excuse me.
Look, if you thought it was slow content this time of year, you haven't met the AsManiac community. God. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the AsManiac community, Rick Kent, he's here. He's in for 10 channel memberships plus 2. Rick in for 12 plus. For those tuning in late, I am going to give away a signed CJ Mosley jersey at the end of the show. Been trying to do a lot of giveaways. Only the real diehards are watching. Check content in June, so I appreciate all of you. So Mosley jersey, giving this one away at the end of today's stream. Rick, thank you. We got you down in the raffle for that and tomorrow's Broadway Joe full-size helmet.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money, money, money.
There you go. All right, if you hear your name, Rick Kent gifted you a membership. Big Steve, Jay-Z Jet fan, Jason Alicicia, Ryan Mercurio, JC, Jet Set Fool, Chris 24285, and William Justice, all receiving memberships there from the Rick Kent. Let's keep going. We got plenty of good callers on the line here. Appreciate all of you tuning in. If you missed it, we played you Glenn's press conference earlier. Sauce Gardner making it clear he wants to be a Jet for life. I do think the Jets and Sauce are going to get a deal done. Same thing with Garrett. I think the timeline for that is hopefully before camp. Wouldn't shock me if it goes right up until the start of the year, but I do think both are going to get done. No one's told me that. I'm just reading through the tea leaves, and it sounds like the sides, for Sauce anyway, Sauce confirmed it, are continuing to have positive conversations. With that said, let's say hello right now to a man where it's up to you to decide. Is he inside or outside?
But then the pizza guy came. I had to distribute to the children.
Oh, what type of pizza did you order?
It was a half plain, half meatball, much to my daughter's chagrin. She doesn't care for the meatball.
Also, I received your Venmo. I received Eli's Venmo. We have already raised $30 for Gorman. So Charles, I'm going to give you an advance payment here if I get permission from Kyle. Do you trust Charles' word that he'll shave on the air tomorrow and I can send him the money early?
Charles is a man of his word.
All right. Well, Charles, you just became $30 richer. Congratulations.
Hopefully he'll invest it in toiletries, household items, whatever he needs. So, you took the words right out of my mouth when you were talking about Sauce before. Like, when he flashed up on the screen, I was like, whoa, he looks wiry strong, and when he looked slight before. And you kind of look like you could knock him over with a breeze in past years, but that's not the case with Sauce anymore. So hopefully in a little bump and run, he's going to stand up a little bit better. We know more man is coming. We know maybe some traveling is coming. It's all good stuff. All part
Brees
of his
looked bigger
evolution.
too, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that as well. Brees looked like he added some weight too.
I didn't see that, but as long as he hasn't lost any of that 23 mile per hour speed, I'm for it. And then the other thing I noticed, and when I think that Glenn is very purposeful when he does these callbacks to Parcells and some of these old time players. He knows this team has to be smash mouth to win. They know they have to be defensive oriented. He knows that they have to establish this identity of, hitting people, of running the football. So when he's mentioning guys like Ronnie Lott, this is going to change in the culture, and it's going to set an identity. I don't think that he's doing that by accident. And I welcome it with open arms because we've tried some other stuff in the past years. We thought Adam Gase was what was it? He was Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Didn't quite work out that way for us. We tried some McVay disciples and some other stuff in offensive coordinator. Let's see if we can go back to the future, right? Let's see if we can establish the pendulum might be swinging back towards the running game in the NFL anyway. So I'm looking forward to getting 20 carries a game for Brees. I'm looking forward to getting 12 carries a game for Braylon Allen. I'm looking forward to getting 5 to 8 touches in one way or another for Isaiah Davis. Let's do it.
That to me is the whole key. Can they be one of the best teams in the league running the football? You're in games if the answer is yes. Because you're just going to dominate time of possession. I think the defense is good. I think the Jets defense fell off a cliff last year, and I expect them to get back to being a lot closer to what they were 2 years ago than last year.
And the other thing with that is how many times a game is our quarterback going to tuck and run? I don't know.
Agreed. And also with the defense, can they force more turnovers so we get our quarterback more possessions? Right? That's a big part of it too. The Jets never forced turnovers last year. It took until the Jaguars game for anyone besides Brandon Eccles to have an interception. That's insane.
Yep. If the ball comes out, I think we could have something. And if he can take care of the ball, no fumbles. Because one of the things I felt about Rodgers is he wasn't picking up the blitz as well. He wasn't moving as well in the pocket. He was kind of, there was that one play against the Bills I keep on coming back to where I felt like he was making business decisions. Like, we know that our quarterback is all in. We know that he's invested. We know that he knows this is his last chance. I'll hitch my wagon to that guy's star every time.
Yep.
Thanks, Jake.
100%. Great call, Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, the Venmos are pouring in right now. This is unreal. All for Charles Gorman to shave. Only this community can raise $30, $50, $60 in 5 minutes for someone that most of these people haven't even met to shave on this show tomorrow afternoon. I just received another Venmo from Party with Paganardi and from Luppy. Incredible. So Clifton, Eli, Luppy, and Party with Paganardi have all donated for the Charles Gorman Shaving on the Air Fund. I'll say this. Hold off everyone else because I don't want Charles to get so damn rich. He says, screw you guys, and he doesn't do it. Now, I think Charles is a man of high character, and he would never do such a thing. But money changes people. There's no playbook for Charles Gorman being rich. We don't know what that's like. Ralph just paid $10. Ralphie. Amazing. What do we have? Let's see, 20, 40. We've raised $70 in 5 minutes. I'm going to hold on to the remainder of the Venmos, right? We gave Charles an advance payment. We gave him $30. He could buy himself a nice, Shake Shack burger tonight if he wants. But tomorrow, we will pay him the rest of the money after the shave is complete on the air, which will be on my second show tomorrow. You heard Charles say it. I think that's fair. I think Charles would understand. But you all trust me. The money will remain in my Venmo until the completion of the Charles shave tomorrow. Unreal. Wow, what do we do about this one? Patriots 12 with a super chat. Here's mine. I don't have those apps. Hard work pays off. I know you don't have those apps. And you should figure out how to get one of those apps, Patriots 12, so I can refund you your money for the raffle instead of having to find a way to ship something to Canada. But I appreciate the gesture. I'll do my best to add this to the total for Charles. Big fella with a great point. If Charles uses a straight razor, tomorrow's episode may resemble the show Dexter. For those who were tuned in live on Memorial Day, the day that we saw Charles Gorman's great shave come into full effect, it's one of those things you just don't forget. The last time Charles Gorman shaved, he used a straight up machete, and he had like a wound that it just looked like it was out of a horror movie. Unbelievable. Chuck with a super chat. How much does it cost for an ambulance? We're going to need a lot for that. Oscar says Charles is about to eat out of the diner for the next 3 weeks. Unbelievable. Rick says about $1,500 for an ambulance. J-Quest says, I don't think it will be as good as everyone thinks. It's a man shaving his face. J-Quest, you know better than anyone. You can't question Charles Gorman, though. Just when you think he can't top a call, he finds a way. More of your calls right now. Indy Jets is next. Hello, Indy.
Hey, Jake. You know, I appreciate the invitation from Charles to join his community, and he was giving the stipulations, and then I figured out that once he said to be mature, there's no way I'll ever make it on this show.
That's why you're here instead.
Yeah. You know, I watched this morning's. You talked about Brees Hall's interview, and you're right. That boy looks jacked. I bet he put on 15 pounds, and he put them all in his arm.
With a lot of guys. Yeah, a lot of players look bigger and stronger. I think that was a mandate by Glenn. I think that's one of the things he told these guys in the offseason to get bigger.
Yeah, now I don't, and I missed the beginning of your show, so I don't know if you've already addressed it or not. So just tell me if you had. But when the OC was up there, followed him, and when Engstrom got up there and he started talking about Corley, did you pick up on that?
He basically said he's not out there; he's behind.
Right, but typically when they talk about an injured player, they talk about the injury and say, "Hey, we're gonna, he's working his way back," and they stayed focused on the injury. He didn't do that with Corley. He talked about he talked about him being mentally behind.
Right,
and it's going to be all up to him if he gets caught up. That tells me right there, and we already know Corley's got an immature level to him anyway, just from last year's. One play that defined his whole career. I bet you that he probably won't make the team.
I would agree with you. If I had to guess if Corley's on the team or not, I'd say no. People are like, really? I go, where's the spot for him? They like Gibson as the returner. Arian Smith is doing a lot of the stuff we thought Corley would do as far as the end arounds and the different stuff. Like that's how Smith's role has been described. They're keeping Lazard. I thought Corley's only path to making the team was they trade Lazard to the Steelers with Rodgers. Doesn't seem like that's happening, at least to this point. I don't think Malachi Corley makes the team.
I don't think he makes the team, but it's not based on how well the other guys are doing. I think it's based strictly on him. If your coach is talking about how far mentally behind you are, you probably don't have much of a chance. I mean, they're talking highly of that fourth round pick. What's his name, Smith. They talk highly of his work ethic. And now nobody's saying anything positive. Granted, Corley's not out on the field, but if he's talking about his mental capabilities and being that far behind and just putting it on him, going, well, it's going to be up to him if he makes it or not makes it. Right there, a coach isn't going to. I think they've already made their decision. They're just going to, obviously it's June. They don't need to make the decision right now. But that to me was the writing on the wall. I'm surprised that that's something you didn't say earlier, after the Brees Hall interview.
Yeah, I just listening to Engstrom and Glenn had the line the other day, you can't make the club and the tub. Right. I don't think they think much of Malachi Corley. I don't. I mean, he's going to have to be healthy and have a big training camp and make plays for him to secure a spot on the team. I think his roster spot's in jeopardy.
So now are you going to go live with Gator on the birthday party tonight?
Well, I'm rocking my Beast and Little Joey shirt right now, so I plan on stopping by the birthday spectacular at 7 o'clock. Right. Gator Sports.
Birthday / bar mitzvah, I guess, from what I understand.
Well, apparently guinea pigs age by 13. So little Joey turning 1 means he's actually 13 in guinea pig years.
Yeah, so that's the bar mitzvah age, you know. So hey, two celebrations in one. Good for little Joey.
Pretty good.
But yeah, other than that, Jake, I just didn't know what you took out of that Corley comments. That's what I took out of it. That he's already gone, just doesn't know it. But
yeah,
thanks,
I
Jake.
mean, look, a good call, Indy. I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitively not making the team, but I think the odds are against him. This regime didn't take him. And I'll continue to say this. While the coaching staff on both sides of the ball is pretty much all new, the one returning coach on the offensive side of the ball is the wide receivers coach, Sean Jefferson. Glenn retained him. I don't think that helps Corley that a guy that was here this past year was brought back, and Corley had issues last year with maturity, being a pro. First opportunity to touch the ball against Houston, he's dropping the ball at the 1 yard line, which it's amazing that didn't cost the Jets the game. That one night, SOJ was somehow defied because it would have been peak Jets for them to lose by 1 score, and that be the play we all accentuate and highlight as to why they lost. Kyle Clifton says, I did meet Charles, and he needs a shave. You did meet him. That is true. If you came to the draft party, you met Gorman. Kyle Clifton in the raffle with this super chat, +2, it's 4. We're going to give away, if you're tuning in late, signed CJ Mosley jersey at the end of the show, and then our big raffle is tomorrow morning. Rick Kent with a super chat. Today is actually the anniversary of my bar mitzvah, June 12th, 1971. Rick, what was your bar mitzvah theme in 1971? Did they do themes back then? And who did you dedicate candle number 7 to? Was that a thing back in the day? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at 7 o'clock, Gators YouTube channel is the place to be. I'm putting the link again in the live chat. Please subscribe to my guy Gators channel. Let's get him over 1,000 subscribers so we can start making copious amounts of cash, making funny content for all of us to enjoy. If you're curious what little Joey's birthday party is going to look like, I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, so am I.
Hi there, little guy. Are you ready for tomorrow's birthday? Yeah? Are you ready for your birthday tomorrow? Are you getting ready for your birthday? There he is, getting ready for tomorrow. And there's the star of the show.
Now, what is this going to look like? What's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I could guess it's going to be entertaining, but I don't want to promise that. What do you do for a guinea pig's birthday party? It's a lot of forbidden, furry love going on. I don't know. Let's check in with the man himself right now. Maybe learn more about what to expect.
I was just playing. I was just doing a little bit of bingo. Oh, nice game, by the way. You were at the Mets game. Did you get a hot dog?
No hot dog today.
No. Oh, no hot dog.
Nope.
I see. Oh, so I think you weren't hungry.
No, I wasn't feeling the hot dog today. I went with a couple of different items instead.
Fair.
Yep.
You right next to Matt O'Leary. Jesus, I was like, whoa.
He's tall.
That guy's huge.
Yeah.
Hey, geez, I mean, I'm 5'8" myself. I'll probably look like a short ass right next to him. He probably would want to eat to me. Crush me into the ground like a railroad spike to him.
Hey, Beast, where's the little Joey? Is he ready for his birthday spectacular?
He's right now having his pellets. I gave him his rub for the day. There's a couple disgusting comments on here. You might have to remove those, please.
What's disgusting comment?
This freak off, and then Emmanuel with his nonsense. No. Family show here. Family show. No, ain't having it. You know what this means?
What comment? I'm not sure what you're reacting to.
It's at 5:15. Go to your department. Go to your department. look at your department. I'm not gonna address this.
I think you should address it.
It's Fraudbringer like always playing games on the phone. Emmanuel, get a life, ese vato. And then little Joey going to a freak off. Jesse P. Dude. This is a family show. Not Jenny Jones. Not
Did you
Jenny
invite Diddy
Springer.
to your? Did you invite Diddy to your?
Hell no.
No.
You think I'm stupid? It's a hell no.
Well,
Hell
you said
no.
freak off. You said freak off. That's what I thought of.
Yeah. Well. I'm not gonna have that here. This is as you put it, this is a family show, not Jenny Jones. Thank you. You want to watch Jenny Jones? You go to another department. Thank you. Now I gotta get that tripod ready, and I gotta get things ready. So, as they say in Hollywood, all right, that's a wrap. All right, quiet on the set. You get the fuck out. Next caller. We gotta go to the next caller, please. I gotta get ready here. I will talk to you in a while.
Rejected. Sorry.
What a moment in time. Let's see. Indy Jet says $4.99 to enter the raffle and 69 cents for Charles. It's 10 to enter the raffle, Indy, but I'll make the exception for you. But I like the 69 cents for Charles. I didn't know you could send a $5.68 super chat. I don't know how to do that. That's impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, multiple people came up to me today at this tailgate at Citi Field and said, I wish Purple Belt Mike was here. And I said the same thing. I go, I know. He big-timed all of us. But he's called in now. Hello, Mike.
If I didn't have work, I would have been there. I was there the past 2 years, and I went to a live show this morning, but I couldn't make the game.
How was the live show?
Awesome. I love seeing him live because Rick is so animated. So, and he's like that when you see the clips, but watching him like perform or whatever, broadcast live, it's good. And he interacts with everybody, so it's good.
Yeah. Good turnout, man. It was a lot of fun today.
Yeah. If you have kids, Rick always goes up to the kids and makes them feel special. So if you have kids and you're a fan of Rick and Dave, you should go to the live show because he's really there for the kids, man. He loves the kids. So
when are you having a kid?
I don't know. Probably never.
Never?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
I have my dog.
Yeah, but I feel like, how long you been married now?
5 years in August.
I can see you having a kid. You'd be a good dad.
Yeah, it might happen. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah, so is Beast still on or Beast left?
What do you think?
All right, put him on. I have a question for Beast.
Beast?
Give me a minute, please.
Beast. Put some clothes on, Beast.
For you.
I have clothes on.
Beast.
Do I look like an idiot?
Beast.
Well,
I'm not Charles Gorman who walks around in his underwear.
Whoa. We don't need to take shots on the
Whoa.
callers, Beast.
Beast, question. So one bald guy to another. How do you, one bald guy, me, to another. How do you get your line straight?
My lines, I do it with a razor. I do it perfectly. I just time it out, just relax, time it, and then nail it.
So no one helps you do that? You do the perfect line by yourself?
Yeah, it's easy. All you gotta do is follow the lining. It's not that difficult. I used to take Tim's class or Tim's lab in 4th grade. All you had to do is use a ruler, draw it out. It's like doing art. Same shit, different day. Same shit, different day.
My wife does mine for me because I can't do it. I can't see the back of my head.
Well, all you gotta do is time it all out. It's not difficult. It's just all you gotta do is time it. But if you use but here's the thing: use a Gillette razor. Don't use that other razor. Those dollar ones. Those will leave nice, cuts on your head.
What about a machete?
Oh, that's dangerous. That's no. You don't want to accidentally cut your head wide open and then blood gushing all over the place. Like for example, Charles Gorman, that nasty cut that he had right here. That. Yeah. I was ready to puke. That's disgusting.
Did little Joey see all his presents yet? Or you're waiting to show him at 7?
Oh, he's got his presents. He already played with a carrot. He already played with today he just played with one of these. He likes it.
But I got him. I forgot what I even got him. Do you have it?
You got him. You got him a couple. You got him a little bit of toys. You got him one of those Rocky things. He like chewed on those. I'm like, he's enjoying that stuff. He even got one of these too.
Nice.
He likes these. I'm like, hey, boys will be boys. So that's the way the world is. But I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I'm intruding. But I want to get to the next caller. I don't want to feel like I'm kind of intruding. But as Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, all right, now move along. Move along. Move along. See ya.
Up in the attic where the beams creak low, bass breaker's heart is a steady glow. Little Joey perched up high with pride, taking a spin on a piggyback ride. Bass breaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride. The floorboards groan beneath his feet, but it's pure love that can't be beat. Little Joey's fur glows in the dim attic light, holding on tight through the moonlit night. Bass breaker laughs, his joy ain't small, loves his pizza, loves gabagool, all in all. Little Joey squeaking, they roam so wide, living the dream on a piggyback ride.
Tonight on the Gator Sports YouTube channel, we celebrate little Joey's birthday. Yes. We have a live stream for a guinea pig's birthday. Find me a better community than the Asmaniac community. You can't. I'll be tuned in. I got my shirt on right now, showing some support. All right, last chance to get in here. Great call from PBM. I am compiling the names for our raffle at the end of the show. Going to give away a signed CJ Mosley jersey. Looking forward to the raffle tomorrow. Last chance to get in. All memberships +2. Full-size Broadway Joe helmet. Clyde Frazier jersey. Kevin Mawai jersey. Bart Scott jersey, all signed and include certificates of authentication. Oscar the Grat says, I was thinking of this Beast song earlier. Shout out to Daz, man. He made all these. Made all them with the AI machine, but still, I think it's impressive. Still got to write the lyrics and all that. Let's see. Any other Jet-related questions as we've wrapped up minicamp here? I'm going to do some more on some of the other press conferences from today. Michael Carter spoke. Jamin Sherwood spoke. Sauce obviously spoke. I'll have more on that tomorrow. Pulled the clip of him talking about his future specifically, but I love the answer he gave about him and Garrett being Jets for life together. So we will get into that. Barbarossa writes in, will the Jets be good? You want me to lie to you? I mean, they could be. I'm not overly confident in it because I've been beaten down too much. They could be good. They also could be the Jets. But if you believe in due, I would say we're due. Is that fair? Is there a fan base in sports that is more due for a good season than the Jet fan base? PBM gifting a membership. +2 for Mike. So PBM, you are in our raffle for 3. Barbarossa wants to know how many games will make him cry. I'm very worried about week 1. I don't care what any of you tell me. I am very worried about week 1. Jesse P, is Donovan Edwards going to make the team? I don't think so. Now, look, running back's a position where we know they're going to prioritize running the ball. So is there a scenario where they keep 4 running backs like the Jets did a couple of years ago? It's possible. We know that Glenn feels incredibly strong about Braylon and Isaiah. And obviously, Brees is Brees. SP says, what's Garrett Wilson's floor and ceiling? I think his floor is what he's been doing, right? 100 catches, over 1,000 yards. 5 to 7 touchdowns. That's the floor. I think his ceiling is Brandon Marshall's 2015 season with the Jets. Like Garrett's that type of player. He could have 110 catches and 1,500 yards and 10-plus touchdowns in a year, especially in an offense that is going to prioritize not just getting him the ball, but getting him the ball in the red zone, which has been a problem. That's why his touchdown totals are not as high as they should be. And specifically, getting him the ball in other ways than just, hey, go line up on the outside and run the same route concepts. Let's use you in the slot. Let's move you all over the field. Let's use you in the screen game. Why don't they call screens for Garrett Wilson? Have we watched the guy with the ball in his hands, how elusive he is? The play calling last year, the utilization of Garrett wasn't good enough. I'm hoping Engstrand does a much better job, and I think he will. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the other playmakers on this team, if they have any other playmakers, especially on the outside. Ralphie says, do you think Kuntz makes the roster? Love screaming, let's go Kuntz. I don't think he does. Mike, do I draft G5 at 14 in fantasy? Do you have a history of drafting players that get hurt? If so, no. I do think Garrett's going to be underrated in fantasy, though, because I think people aren't going to know what to expect. But if we've been following it as closely as we are as Jet fans, I think he's going to have a big season. I mean, if you think Garrett Wilson is going to have what I think 100 catches, let's say in the 1,400-yard receiving range, which I think is doable, and 7 to 8 touchdowns, that's a first-round pick in fantasy. Eli, is wide receiver 2 a concern for you? Yeah. The whole wide receiver room besides Garrett's a concern for me. I don't have a lot of faith in Josh Reynolds, Allen Lazard. I've been screaming for them to add another receiver now for months. They're not going to do it. 100%, Eli. Now, look, can they prove me wrong? They can. I think the key for that is I've heard great things from people I trust about Mason Taylor. I don't know. I'm a little bullish on, or not bullish, the opposite. I'm a little weary, I should say, of, hey, here's a rookie tight end. He'll go catch 65 balls year one. Like, people are like, oh, Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is an outlier to do that as a rookie. Right? Sam Laporta had 86 catches in 2023. 86. And 890 receiving yards. 10 touchdowns. That's an anomaly. If you think Mason Taylor is going to come in and put up those kind of numbers, like, you're kidding yourself. He was on the All-Pro second team as a rookie. And obviously, you know who's going to get mentioned when it comes to rookie tight ends. Mason Taylor's not going to be Brock Bowers. Okay, Gary?
Did somebody say Brock Bowers?
But Kenny, I looked up what Dustin Keller did his rookie year. Do I think Mason Taylor could give you that? I don't think that's crazy. I'm going to pull it up again. But Dustin Keller as a rookie with the Jets, 2008. Now, he had Favre throwing to him, much better thrower of the ball than Fields, but still, we know Fields could throw to the tight end a lot and has a very high quarterback rating when doing so. Third in the league among starters with at least 20 starts the last couple of years. Hold on. Pro Football Reference is not giving me Dustin Keller stats now. Server error. What are we doing here? Let me get Dustin Keller, career stats. We'll go ESPN.com. 48 catches, 535 yards, 3 touchdowns. I would take that for Mason Taylor. You told me Mason Taylor had 50 catches, 535 yards. Now, I'd like the touchdowns to be a little more, but I could live with that. That's pretty good to me. Luppy says, where is Gary? Is he eating sushi? Gas station sushi, specifically. Dominic says, which free agent or rookie are you most optimistic for so far after minicamp? AZ Thomas. He's good. If you guys caught my interview yesterday with Antoine Staley from the Daily News, I asked him, do you think Thomas is going to play as a rookie? He's going to challenge Stevens for playing time. And Antoine said yes. He's like, I didn't necessarily understand the pick at the time, but after watching him, I think he's really good. And that's what I've heard from multiple people. Which free agent? I mean, it's too easy to say Fields, right? Like, I don't know if Fields is going to be the guy, but there's going to be moments this year where he runs with the ball and has a 65-yard run, and the MetLife crowd is going nuts. That's going to happen. He's Justin Fields. Like, that would be fun. He's going to break every single season rushing record by a Jet quarterback by October. Black Gypsy says, I'm wary about this year, period, and nothing that happens in preseason is going to change that. If Fields could beat the Steelers, then I'll feel a tiny bit better. If Fields beats the Steelers and looks good, you're going to feel a lot better. Are you kidding me? Because that's my huge fear of, oh, here we go. Same old Jets, lose to Rodgers, butt up everyone's joke. If Fields looks good week one, I'll be ecstatic, man. I'll be pumped. Now, it's week one, so you don't want to overreact, but we will because we're fans. You can't bury yourself early. That should be the goal for the Jets. Don't put yourself in a huge hole. 4-4 at the bye week. We're playing meaningful games in December. I think we'd all sign for that right now. Boomtown writes in, Jake, I haven't shaved in a month due to the trauma watching Charles nearly decapitate himself. We'll be watching Charles at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Help or hurt my chances of getting over my fear of shaving. I think tomorrow could be bloody. All right. I think tomorrow could look like a crime scene investigation. I'm glad Luppy sent Charles a first aid kit because it could be gory tomorrow. They might call him Gory Gorman by the end of tomorrow's stream. All right. If you thought the most horrifying thing you could see was Charles Gorman's man boobs on the same screen as Bobby Midnight, wait till tomorrow at 4:30.
Bobby and Charles are squeezing their knockers. Bobby and Charles are squeezing their knockers, taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Bobby and Charles are damn sexy. Damn sexy. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's Bobby and Charles are hot and sweaty. Hot and sweaty. Let's party. Let's party.
Unbelievable. Incel 2-6 at the bye week is my prediction. I mean, I can't tell you you're crazy for that. Ted says, I'm eating. Well, whose fault is that? All right.
Would you silence or should I do one of these?
I'm sorry, Ted. It slipped. I didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to play this instead. Oh. My bad. I really didn't mean to do that. I meant to play this.
Excuse me.
Sorry. It's my fault. Meant to play this. How's that for your appetite? Bon appetit. Super chat here. I'm going to get the raffle name shortly. Let's see. Why is this? Here we go. Del Rhino in the house. Just wanted to say what up to my favorite New Yorker. Much love to the Jets fan from H-Town. Del Rhino, appreciate you, man. Hope all is well in Houston. What's the temperature in Houston today? 1,000? Miss Houston a ton. Do not miss the summers. Good Lord. And today at Citi Field, I was dying. Ted says that he thinks the moves are more disturbing. And it's tough to argue with that. Dominic says, I'm so happy I opened this window to shirtless Gorman and Bobby in a public forum. Yeah, watching the show out of context could be tough. Gator was telling me that trying to explain to his wife why he's hosting a guinea pig's birthday party on his channel was a tough conversation to try and have. Unreal. Jets worldwide, shaving and misbehaving. 98 and humid in Houston. Well, the H in Houston stands for humidity. Black Gypsy says, this is not going to be an easy first half of the season for us. I'm not optimistic about the first half. Second half of the season is where I have hope. Well, good teams get better as the year goes on. So if the Jets cannot bury themselves early, they should be playing better football down the stretch if they're well coached. That's what I'm going to be judging them on. Remember, the Eagles were the best team in the NFL last year. They were dominant. They were 2-2. New England every year. Oh, Brady's falling off a cliff. Here we go. This is the end of the Patriots, right? They'd lose one game. They'd come out of the box 1-2 in September. Then they'd turn it on. Happen all the time. So I want to see improvement, but I also don't want to see this team bury themselves because I do believe there's talent here. I'm not saying they got to start undefeated. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think if they're well coached, can they start 2-2? I don't think that's crazy. I mean, I fear week 1, but like in a vacuum, Pittsburgh week 1, you're at home. Rodgers is learning a new offense. We know Pittsburgh has a winning season every year, but they're not 13-4, right? They go 9-8. That means there's 8 losses. Can we win week 1 and really push back on the SOJ agenda? I think that'd be huge. Now, am I confident in such things? I mean, no, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Luppy says, Jake, how much for Beast to shave the mohawk? I don't know. You're going to have to ask Beast. And unfortunately, for once, he's actually not on the line right now. Catskill, key to the season is Fields. It's Fields and the coaching. Right? Like, you could win games in spite of your quarterback. We've seen the Jets do it at times. But can you go out there and can you cover a full year with incompetent quarterback play? No. We've seen how that looks too. But yeah, I mean, the key to the Jets being a playoff team, I believe, is Fields. The key to the Jets going over their win total, winning 7 or 8 games, I think is Aaron Glenn. And an extension of Aaron Glenn is also Tanner Engstrand and the rest of the coaches. Steve Hyden, too. We need to really focus in on Steve Hyden, the O-line coach. Never been an offensive line coach full-time. He's been an assistant O-line coach with the Arizona Cardinals. He was the Lions tight end coach. And Glenn hired him from Detroit, took him with him, and gave him the O-line opportunity here. Big fella, Jay, can you post the link to Little Joey's birthday? I can. It's on the Gator Sports YouTube channel. I just put it in the live chat. Go subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to get out of here shortly to give people a chance to prepare for the Party of Champions. I also still got to do a raffle here. So I am putting the names together as we speak. I am multitasking. Last chance, comments, questions, anything Jet-related, NFL-related. Anything sports related, throw it in there. Jets Worldwide says, Jets 25 plus 25,000 to win the Super Bowl, worth a $100 wager. Just give me that money instead, Snowball, and I'll take that bet for you. All right. I'll be your bookie.
We are mama way.
But to answer your question, no, I don't think it's. I think you'd be throwing away $100. I'll take the bet for you. Julian at the buzzer in the raffle here. +2. He's in for 5. Thank you very much, Julian. I will, because I already have the names. I will manually type your name.
It's the AsMANIAC membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
So you could see me typing Julian's name right now. That's top-notch customer service. All right. I am almost ready for the raffle. What I need to do is now do a screen share so I can pull up the wheel. I have all the names. So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to play a clip. When I come back from said clip, we will have a raffle. Does that sound good to everybody? The reality is, if that doesn't sound good to you, too bad, because I'm calling the shots around here, and I say that's what we're doing, damn it.
Breaking sports news just in from the Jake Asman Show. After the New York Jets embarrassed themselves, losing 27-6 on Monday Night Football to the below-average Chargers, quarterback Zach Wilson showed once again that he's not ready for prime time. So when ESPN's Michael Kay questioned head coach Robert Saleh about possibly benching the number 2 overall pick, Kay was hit with a somewhat confusing response.
You've got Trevor Siemian. Why not give him a try?
A fair question. I don't know. You got me. I'm gonna plead the fifth on all this one.
The head coach actually took the 5th, sending shockwaves throughout the Jet fan base. And the following day, our hero, the great Jake Asman, along with some very frustrated fans, let their voices be heard at this unhinged and tragic New York Jets press conference.
Hey, Robert, thanks for taking my question. With Zach starting again Sunday, does he have any compromising photos of you or someone else in the organization?
No, that's a fair question, Jake. I'm going to take the 5th on that one.
What the hell is this going backwards bullshit? You don't go backwards. You throw the ball out of bounds with your big goddamn arm, and you go back in the fucking huddle.
No, that's a fair question, Neil.
This is bullshit.
Jose Feliciano, the blind Puerto Rican guitarist, can see that he is terrible.
This kid does not want to run with the ball.
Are you kidding me? This is the shit I'm talking about. You bitch's ass. You did his ass on my damn field.
No, that's a fair question, King.
The 3rd damn year we are seeing this in Naptown.
He's not trying to win the goddamn game.
You gotta be kidding me. Send his ass the fuck down.
I could have made 20 yards with that goddamn hole.
If your quarterback cannot play in the NFL, they get rid of him.
Oh, there's one of his 27 seconds. Oh, it's amazing. I don't give a shit.
If you cannot play football, get your ass off the field.
And walk around and wipe Rodgers' ass because that's all you're good for.
And you're sitting here defending this bullshit.
If I see Zach Wilson go on that field, me and Lowski are going out personally, and we're going to take his ass off the field.
It is torture, man.
God damn it.
All right, thanks, guys.
What a moment that was, huh? I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to have a press conference like that. All right, who's ready for the raffle? I am.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Music, please. Boom. Here we go. All the names. All the entries. It's right here in front of us. Only one can win a signed C.J. Mosley jersey. And reminder, if you don't win, you're still entered in the raffle tomorrow for the full-sized Broadway Joe helmet and all the other prizes as well. Shout out to Eli, first time seeing that press conference clip. I love that when we get new listeners because there's just an entire universe of old clips from the show that you get a chance to see, which is pretty cool. On that note, who's ready? I am. Let's spin the wheel. Good luck to everyone. Thank you for your support. I will continue to try and do as many of these daily raffles in addition to the big raffles during these lean weeks coming up, because if you're choosing to spend your time watching this show in June, you're a diehard Jets fan. You're a real Asmaniac, and I am forever appreciative of that. Here we go. Wheels being spun. The winner of the signed C.J. Mosley jersey is listener Frank P. Frank won on the same damn day. Not one, but 2 signed Jets jerseys. He won an Anthony Beck jersey on the first show. He just won a signed C.J. Mosley jersey on the second show. Who's got it better than Frank? Congrats to Frank. That's awesome. He's a true Jets fan. He deserves it. Frank P., who couldn't figure out how to super chat or send memberships earlier. It wasn't working. He figured it out, and now he's won 2 signed jerseys all in a day's work. Congrats to Frank. Appreciate everyone who gifted, everyone who was in that raffle. Frank, I will get your prizes out in the coming days. We got the raffle tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that, Frank. Holy crap. That's awesome, man. Congratulations, Frank. You're a true Jets fan, so I'm glad that you're the one who won it. Anyway, again, thank you all for watching. We will be joined by Nick Faria tomorrow. He was at the final minicamp today, so we'll get some final takeaways from Nick, talk more about what Sauce said, talk more about what Glenn said, get more of your thoughts on that. Appreciate all of you. You guys are the best listeners. I'm going to be tuned into the Little Joey birthday spectacular That's coming up on Gators YouTube channel in 15 minutes. So tune into that, and I'll talk to you guys then. Go Jets, everybody. Were you wearing a Patriots jersey yesterday?
No, that's just bullshit done by Dixon Yass.
Interesting. Matthew wants to know how you think the Patriots will do.
I'm not talking to that piece of shit.
Whoa! You know, that's actually a great point. Robbie Sabo, by the way, he didn't know what a squatty potty was. And I told him.
My parents showed it to my parents. They don't like it.
Have they ever used it themselves?
No, but they don't like the squatty potty.
Well, they haven't tried it. It's scientifically proven.
If you're going to call me a fan of a team that I like a certain player on, then screw you guys. You guys have no proof that I'm an actual Patriot fan.
Nate writes in, what has Charles done today to pursue?
Nate, mind your own fucking business.
Whoa, whoa. Let's be civil on this show. We're a family program. Oh, my God. My son just explained to his friend, this guy calls into shows and takes dumps, and then my dad did it to him.
I don't take dumps on people's shows all the time.
So OJ didn't kill people all the time, but he was labeled as a murderer. You see the point?
Yes. Well, I wanted to tune in to see what Bobby was doing, and I had to take a shit. Well, there's a lot of Indian places.
What do you mean Indian places? Like Indian restaurants?
I'm living in a big Indian community here in Islam.
Gator wants to know if you live on an Indian reservation. Yeah, we talking American Indian or Asian Indian? Are you the head tribal chief? Sean wants to know.
I can't be a head tribal chief if I'm not Indian, so no.
You get the fuck out.